How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Every Brand Breakdown. My name is Eric. We are going through every letter of the alphabet, breaking down a brand. And right now we are on the letter I. We are going over Izod, which you probably have heard of. Maybe you've sold it, maybe you haven't. Hope to bring some value through this video to show you some of the items you might want to be looking and picking up from Izod based off of some research we can do on eBay and Poshmark. I want to apologize for not putting a video out last Friday. I've been sick with strep throat, feeling terrible, having fevers, and actually feeling a lot better today, so I figured I'd film this video and get it up on Monday. If you haven't already seen, there is an awesome Every Brand Breakdown playlist on my channel. It's right here. This is the best place to see other Every Brand Breakdown videos where we go over different brands and things that you should be looking for or not looking for, because that's just as important to knowing what not to pick up as what you should be picking up. But in this video, we're going to be going over Izod. We're going to go over some of the sister companies that they have, kind of where they're sold. We're going to look at the website. We're going to look at eBay. We're going to look at Poshmark, and you're going to have a pretty good grip on what you should grab from Izod after this video. So, all right, first off, Izod. It was founded in the 1930s, and it does not really have a following. It's not a status brand. They are a pretty low budget clothing company. Look at this. 1870, we're on their website, 1875. They really are putting crazy discounts on their stuff, which you'll see later how that has an effect on the resale market. Like this V-neck sweater, $17.99. Like, how is an eBay seller going to even compete with this for a brand new sweater? It's craziness. They've been around since the 30s, and now they are owned by this company called PVH, and that PVH company also owns brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, Van Heusen, Speedo, and they are traded on the U.S. stock market as PVH. So yeah, when we look at their website, we go to men's suits, right? Suits should be pretty expensive. They only have 19 suits. We price it high to low. And look at this. Their most expensive suit is $103. So that's pretty dang budget. Outerwear and jackets, high price, high to low. There you go. $67, $75, super cheap. And this is all winterwear stuff, so it should not be crazy on sale right now, but it is. Check this out. We're going to head over to eBay. We're going to look at the entire market. So 90,000 listings. So it's pretty saturated in all clothing, shoes, and accessories. We haven't sorted by anything else. That's just the active listings. We're going to take a look at completed, about 29,000. Then we're going to look at sold, 14,782. But so that puts us about a 49% sell-through rate, something like that. Less than 50%. Check this out right here. We're going to look at solds that sold for over $15, and that cuts that number in half. And then we're going to go, instead of 15, change it to 35. I really don't like selling clothing items less than $35 because otherwise you're getting into like a couple dollar profit, $5 profit. I want to get into like at least $20 profit when I'm selling something. So we changed that to 35, and it dropped us down to 726 items. So this is a really good way to filter, to look at what you really should be looking for to get a sale over $35 is like your minimum, especially for like a super saturated brand. You're not going to just want to go buy everything, but it also helps you hone in on what you should be looking for. So check this out. Supreme Lacoste collaboration makes sense. Supreme's a streetwear brand. Lacoste and Izod were together from 1952 to 1993. So there's just about this 40-year period where they were together making Izod Lacoste stuff. So I think that's why that came up. So this was 2 leather jackets that sold. Makes sense. Leather is an expensive material. It's usually the highest priced items that a company sells, or their leather jackets or their suits. And then check this, the next thing. A lot of 2 brand new, so this is new old stock, vintage, Izod Lacoste preppy sweaters. Oh, one's a vest and one's a sweater. And you will see that these are something that you will be looking for. Well, they sold it new without tags. Probably means that it was thrifted, just in really good condition. Izod black leather, Izod leather. And then here we go, another vintage Izod Lacoste. So during that Izod Lacoste, vintage Izod Lacoste period, look at the tag. This cable knit sweater, there's your tag right there. Probably from the 70s or the 80s, made in Hong Kong, sold for $129. That's on the high end that you're going to get for these sweaters. Tracksuit, another tracksuit, Izod Lacoste, Izod Lacoste. Most of this stuff you're going to be looking for is indeed Izod Lacoste, not just Izod, the vintage Izod Lacoste stuff. There's an Izod Lacoste jacket, Izod Lacoste, Izod lamb leather. So this thing probably was extremely expensive. Yeah, $650 new. Izod lamb leather, new, and it still only sold for $100. That's how depreciated or saturated this brand is, to where people are just like, retail's crazy to be asking that. We're not going to pay that. Izod means nothing to people. All right, I don't understand why this went so high on bids. I think this is an outlier, but another Izod Lacoste is this, Izod Lacoste that. The cable knit sweaters, the Izod Lacoste jacket. There you go. Got the crocodile right there. Got the Izod Lacoste tag. Gonna sell. Preppy sweater. They were very popular in the 70s to the 80s with their preppy stuff, like these cardigans and sweaters, some of the polos. Obviously, the jackets and the sweaters are going to do better than the polos. That's pretty much the market you're going to be looking for. This is a really cool one. This one was a new old stock, so it was brand new with the tags. So if you saw vintage Izod Lacoste with the tags, even if it was a polo, I would still grab it because it's not made anymore. It's vintage, and if it's something color blocky like that, for sure, that's going to do well. $65. Cardigan. These cable knit sweaters, $60, $60. V-neck, and then let's look at the lower end of this, over $35. American flag embroidered, so that's actually like newer Izod, but because it's all embroidered, that makes sense. Cable knit sweater, vintage windbreaker, normal Izod stuff, a flannel shirt. There you go, quilted quarter zip, but this is all going to be brand new stuff. That's still only, list price was $175, still only sold for like $35. The chances that you're going to find this stuff thrifted is low. Maybe if you had like an Izod store that went out of business and you were getting stuff for like $1, you could $1, $2 sell it for maybe 12 to 25. But yeah, Izod it's so saturated. It's sold at Kohl's, it's sold at JCPenney's, Macy's, Costco, it was sold at Sears. So it's cheap stuff that's widely available, always on sale. There's a lot of there's a super cool one. I think this guy underpriced this, honestly. Big logo, Izod Lacoste, color blocked. Yeah, I would have put that for over $100. Put it up for $40, probably sold immediately. Just really be looking at that vintage Izod Lacoste line. Here's another big logo on the chest. Last but not least, let's take a look at Poshmark. The highest price plus shipping sold, and it looks like a vintage bulk lot of Izod Lacoste polos sold for $185. That's a pretty good deal. I think they could probably separate those out and sell them for $40, $50 maybe, since it's new old stock. Whoever got this probably is a reseller. It's funny because it says they're not the trendy modern ones. They are in a size small. However, vintage Izod Lacoste stuff is selling, so I guess it is kind of trendy. Leather. Granted, this was new with tags. Leather, collection, lot, leather, performance jacket, suit. A lot of stuff new with tags. And then when we get down here, vintage Izod Lacoste, Izod leather jacket. So some of the vintage stuff is trickling into Poshmark, but you see more of Poshmark being the modern stuff, but the nicer modern stuff like the leather jacket, their most expensive jackets, their suits, stuff new with tag. There's some of our vintage Izod Lacoste. There's a new with tags, one by itself, sold for $45. Track suits do well. And then there is a lot of Izod in the $4, $5, super cheap range, just because it's such a saturated, not highly sought after brand. So the moral of the story, track jackets, cardigans, cable knit sweaters, spell outs on the chest, vintage Izod Lacoste is kind of where it's at for this brand pretty much. Or if you somehow find the leather, something leather, or maybe brand new with tags, you could possibly flip it. But that's pretty much it for this episode of Every Brand Breakdown. I hope you learned something about Izod. Mostly don't pick it up unless it's vintage Izod Lacoste. They're higher end leather stuff or something brand new with tags that was insanely cheap that you're not expecting to sell for that much, because Izod kind of competes with themselves by having such cheap prices to begin with. But yes, I thank you again for watching. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments or recommendations for other brands to be broken down, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.